comes to eating healthy, the real secret is being prepared. And for me, that means Sunday night meal prep. Now this is a process that I go through every single Sunday night. It takes a couple of hours, but when I'm done, I have a ton of healthy foods already prepped and ready to go. They can be thrown into different recipes or eaten on their own throughout the week. It's super simple, it takes just a couple of hours, but it will absolutely be your savior come Wednesday night when you get home from work and you're absolutely famished. Now the first step in my Sunday night meal prep is to prepare a whole chicken for roasting. Now, if you're a vegetarian, of course you can skip this step. But if you do eat meat, roasting a whole chicken is the best way to ensure you have high quality protein ready all week long. Now I like to start with a whole chicken like this and then keep it really simple. Just a drizzle of olive oil and some salt and pepper will do. You could also amp this up by adding some herbs like thyme or rosemary, or some onions, carrots, and celery, but today I'm keeping it super simple. Olive oil, salt, and pepper. That's it. This bird's ready to go into the oven at 375. Once your chicken is in the oven and cooking away, it's time to prepare your potatoes. Now you can do this with regular potatoes or sweet potatoes. Basically, I just cut them into bite-sized pieces, toss them in some olive oil, salt and pepper, and a little rosemary. Then I put them on a baking sheet and put them in with the chicken, and they totally take care of themselves. After about 30 minutes, I check on them, flip them around, and then give them another 20 minutes to cook. They'll be beautifully done and ready to eat all week long. My next step is to prepare my quinoa. Now quinoa is one of my favorite things to have on hand because you can throw it in all sorts of recipes throughout the week. Basically, I start with 1 cup of quinoa and 2 cups of vegetable stock, and then I bring it to a boil on the stove. Once it's boiling, I reduce the heat to minimum, put the lid on, and then leave it for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes is up, I'll turn off my heat and let it sit for another 5 minutes. It's as easy as that. Your quinoa is ready for the week. While my quinoa is cooking, I start to boil my eggs. A half dozen for me is plenty for the week. I boil my eggs for 8 to 10 minutes, then run them under cold water and peel them right away. I store them in an airtight container and they are good to go for up to 5 days. Next, I like to turn my attention to my steamed green vegetables. Now I start by chopping my broccoli and my asparagus and then just trimming up my green beans. Then I start my steamer. I steam each type of vegetable one at a time until they're cooked through. Quick word of warning, when you're doing 3 rounds of vegetables, you want to make sure you have plenty of water in the bottom of your steamer. Trust me, I learned this lesson the hard way. You'll know they're cooked through because they turn bright green but still retain some good crispness. Once they're done, I store them in jars in the refrigerator and I can either snack on them or add them to all sorts of recipes and they're already cooked. What could be simpler? Next, I chop up all my raw veggies to snack on throughout the week. I like to do some bell pepper, some celery, and some cucumber. I find these are perfect for munching on between meals. Now I'm using a digital thermometer to give me a good read on this chicken because it's really important to make sure your chicken is cooked through. What we're looking for is an internal temperature of 165 degrees in the breast and 185 degrees in the leg. The last step in this process is to rinse and prep my fruit. Now I love mixed berries all week long. So basically I rinse them in a colander and then I give them a quick chop, mix them all up and store them in the refrigerator. I can honestly eat these by the handful or I'll bring them to work for lunch. I hope you'll give this Sunday night meal prep a try and that it makes your life easier all week long. Thanks so much for watching and be sure to subscribe to The Domestic Geek for lots more deliciousness just like this.